put it to
Yeah.
the presentation.
Marilyn? You ready? Okay, good evening. We call the Village Board meeting to order for Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke absent. Trustee Madej.
Present.
Trustee Dunham.
Present.
Trustee Sullivan.
Present.
Trustee Clare.
Present.
Trustee Kozak.
Here.
President Daly.
Present. All present except for Trustee Bishke. Just a reminder, as I am doing now, my own reminder, please turn off all your electronic devices, cell phones, whatever that makes noises, please. Appreciate that. Next item we have is Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to ask Trustee Kozak if he would lead us all in a Pledge of Allegiance.
Will the audience please rise? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Kozak. Next item is the approval of minutes from the June 14th, 2022 meeting. Any questions, comments?
Motion to approve June 14th, 2022.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes from June 14th, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of expenditures for $3,648,606.71.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the expenditures. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke absent. Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Clare.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Thank you. Presentations. We have a presentation of a 30-year service award to Robert Shanley. My mistake. Sorry. I was reading what I wanted to read. Shanley for Fire Lieutenant Paramedic. Wow. Please step forward here. Did you see you yesterday? No? Okay. Were you there yesterday? No. Oh, okay. So you missed that one. Okay. No. Nah, yeah. You still got time, though. Yeah, it's only 30. You got another. Come on. Where's Murray on here? Oh, Murray, you're only 30 years, too?
30, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were more than that. Wow. Been here a long time. Yeah. Okay. So let's, we'll do this if we may. We'll look over this way and take a picture here. Okay. Hold on to that, too. Thank you. So, congratulations. Okay. And the next one we have is for Patrick Murray, Jr., that is. There we go. You want to come up here? Come on. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, that's, you're not retiring us, right? Sure, you know, it's a great day. Okay, thank you. Okay, you're welcome to sit through the rest of the meeting, or you can leave if you want. It's up to you. We always let people know. Next item is liquor license request from Mr. Gilmero. Boy, you're not doing too well. Thank you. Thank you. Gonzalez for one Class F liquor license for Benchito's Mexican Grill located at 602 West Wise Road. Please step forward over here. Give us your name and address for the record, and if you would also sign in there, I would appreciate it.
Sure.
And once you've done that, then let us know. This is a new license, so I assume an existing establishment. You'll let us know what you're looking to do there.
Sure.
So thank you everyone for having me here today. My name is Guillermo Gonzalez, owner of Bien Chido's Mexican Grill on 602 Wise Road. And we've been there for almost about over 4 years, I want to say. And one of the biggest reasons is just giving the village what they want. I would say we have at least maybe 4 to 5 people on a daily basis, ask for liquor, whether it's a beer or margarita, mainly the margarita for the Mexican food, the authentic food that we offer. That's one of the biggest reasons. Also to kind of help us improve our sales. We've seen that most businesses, they thrive when they add a liquor license to their business, and that's another big reason why we want to do that. And I'm sorry, what was the other question you asked?
Well, I guess we're looking, are you planning to make any changes to the establishment other than just allowing the sale of alcohol?
Yeah, so in the beginning we want to kind of get the word out to kind of get people to come in the door and start seeing that we have the license or have liquor available to them. And after that, maybe we want to change our hours and kind of maybe have more of like a late, because since we do have a bar there, so maybe that's something that we've thought about adding, so we can have selling liquor kind of like a late night also menu. That way it'll help us improve our sales as well.
Okay. Questions from the rest of the trustees? Trustee Blair?
What time are you thinking of staying open until?
What time? Right now we're closing about at 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, so I want to say maybe until 10 o'clock, and then the Fridays and Saturday I think will be another hour added into there, so it'll be till about 10 p.m., 11 p.m. or so.
Do you have any music going on there? Or?
We do, yeah. So we do have different music, and I'm sure probably change the lights at that certain time, and put a little bit music a little bit louder, and start adding mainly just drinks for the full bar there.
Okay, well keep in mind you're backed up to residential, so you got to make sure you don't keep that back door open or blast anything into the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
But, no. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. Then the next thing you'll need to do is, during normal business hours, go to the Liquor Commissioner's office, which is also in the Mayor's office, fill out the appropriate paperwork for the liquor license, and then a background will be conducted. Assuming everything's okay, there's a fee to be paid, and then a liquor license will be issued.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right.
Good luck.
Okay, you're welcome. You're also welcome to stay, or you can leave if you need to for business purposes on your stand. Next item is the consent agenda. Be read in its entirety, voted on as one motion to approve. If you wish to discuss an item further, please indicate that when the item is read by the village clerk so that it can be removed from the consent agenda and discussed further under committee reports. Otherwise, all items will be approved as presented on the consent agenda. And I would ask if the clerk would please read the consent agenda.
Number 1, correspondence. The motion would be to approve the request from Hoffman Schaumburg Knights of Columbus, number 6964, to fundraise from sunrise to sunset on September 16th and 17th, 2022, at the intersections of Schaumburg Road, Meacham Road, Plum Grove Road, Schaumburg Road, and Roselle Road, Wise Road. 2, proclamations. A, Recreation Month, July 2022. 3, Engineering and Public Works Committee. A, the motion would be to authorize participation in the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative contract and award the purchase of 1 Freightliner ambulance to Foster Coach of Sterling, Illinois, in the amount of $411,474. B, the motion would be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative and award the purchase of 1 Butcher Street sweeper to Butcher Municipal North America of Mooresville, North Carolina, in the amount of $358,502. C, the motion will be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell purchasing contract and award the purchase of 2 case loaders to McCann of Bolingbrook, Illinois, in the amount of $460,000. D, the motion will be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell purchasing cooperative contract and award the purchase of 19 replacement vehicles to National Auto Fleet Group of Watsonville, California, in the amount of $984,500. E, the motion will be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative Contract and award the purchase of one Freightliner chassis step van to National Auto Fleet Group of Watsonville, California, in the amount of $220,000. F, the motion would be to authorize participation in the National Cooperative Purchasing Alliance contract and award the 2022 Gateway Sign Project to F.H. Passion of Chicago, Illinois, in the amount of $1,129,514.91 and authorize an additional expenditure of $419,470.48 of American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds toward this project. G, the motion would be to approve an agreement for the aerial leak detection services with ASTERRA of San Diego, California, in the amount of $71,352 for the year 22-23, with 3 one-year optional extensions, and approve the required resolution. H, the motion would be to approve a local agency agreement for the federal participation for the Meacham Road and Gulf Road bike path improvements, land acquisition in the amount of $345,000, and approve the required resolution. 4, finance, legal, administrative, and general government. A, the motion would be to approve the Finance Department monthly report for May 2022. B, the motion would be to approve membership in the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, and that the membership dues in the amount of $3,774 be paid. C, the motion would be to approve continued participation in Meet Chicago Northwest and authorize the village manager to make the payment in equaling 10% of the 4% hotel motel tax revenue for the year 22-23. D, the motion would be to approve Phase 2 implementation of detention system camera project and issuance of a purchase order to Scientel Solutions, LLC of Aurora, Illinois, in the amount of $123,053.41. E, the motion would be to adopt an ordinance amending Title 11, Chapter 112, Sections 112.14, and Title 3, Chapter 41, Section 41.01 of the Schaumburg Village Code relative to the retail sale of alcoholic beverages by gas stations. F, the motion would be to direct the village attorney to draft an ordinance to make adjustments to the compensation of village trustees and members of advisory boards, committees, and commissions. 5, Health and Human Resources Committee. A, the motion would be to approve the CV budget of $197,066.09 and reallocation of the CDBG CV Public Service Funds as presented. B, the motion would be to approve the 2022 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Action Plan and direct staff to submit the plan to HUD. 6, Plan Commission. The motion would be to approve a rear yard setback variation porch addition for 419 Bristol Lane. B, the recommendation would be to approve floor plan area ratio, FAR, credit approval for 621 Fairview Lane. C, the motion would be to approve a variation to allow a patio in the side yard for 314 Shagbark Court. 7, Zoning Board of Appeals. The motion would be to approve a site plan amendment, canopy additions, amendment to special use for a drive-through facility, building setback variations for Chick-fil-A, 90 North Barrington Road. 8, traffic agreements. The motion would be to authorize the village manager to execute the traffic agreement by and between the Village of Schaumburg and North Barry and Anita Pool for a pool-orama located at 1850 Irving Park Road. 9, resolutions. The motion will be to adopt as resolution number R22-065, authorizing the village manager and village clerk to execute an agreement for their aerial leak detection program with ASTERRA. B, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R22-066, authorizing the village manager to execute a local agency agreement for federal participation for the Meacham Road and Gulf Road bike path improvements, land acquisition. 10 ordinances. The motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 22-049, granting a site plan amendment, canopy additions, amendment to special use for a drive-through and building setback variation for Chick-fil-A 90 North Barrington Road. B, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 22-050, granting a rear yard setback variation, porch addition, 419 Bristol Lane. C, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 22-051, granting floor area ratio, FAR, credit approval, 621 Fairview Lane. D, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 22-052, granting a variation to allow a patio in the side yard, 317 Shagbark Court. E, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 22-053, amending Title 11, Chapter 112, Section 112.14, and Title 3, Chapter 41, Section 41.01 of the Schaumburg Village Code relative to the retail sale of alcoholic beverages by gas stations. This concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you very much. Look for a motion to concur with the consent agenda as presented and approve in one motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke absent. Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Clare.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Thank you very much. Committee reports, we have one item listed here from Plan Commission. It's a recommendation or for approval of a special use for a home-based business, microblading and cosmetic services. Variations to increase square footage allowed for home-based business for Lisa Burma at 101 Bardsley Drive. Background. Or actually, why don't we have David come up and give us a little background on the Plan Commission discussion?
Thank you. David Utley, Chair of the Plan Commission. The petitioner requested a special use approval for a home-based business to provide microblading and other cosmetic services, but not tattooing, at her home located at 101 Bardsley Drive. The petitioner also requested a variation to exceed the maximum of 160 square feet allowed for a home-based business. The office, which was formerly the family room, measures 212.5 square feet, which exceeds the maximum size allowed of 160. The hearing was held on June 7, 2022. The petitioner was present, as well as Marissa Krawick and Sharita Van Treese. 6 members of the commission were present, 3 were not, 2 were either in the hospital or just out of the hospital, and the other was on vacation. Hearing lasted almost an hour. 2 neighbors to the south of the petitioner, Mrs. Paulson and Mr. Sweats, were also present and gave testimony, objecting to the granting of the requested actions. There was substantial discussion between the parties with testimony, commentary from the objectors and the petitioners regarding the request. It lasted almost 40 minutes. Members of the commission had numerous pertinent questions, comments, and concerns regarding the petitioner's request. Ultimately, the committee voted 3-3, which was insufficient to pass the request.
Hence the reason it's
So why it's here.
Yeah, currently before us. So I guess let's, can we have the petitioner first come up? And why don't you give us your thoughts on this?
Hello, my name is Lisa Lagwadorj, and I am cosmetologist and permanent makeup artist. The reason I'm here is that I need permission to use the extra room in my house for my work. Sorry, my English is a little limited.
Can you pull the microphone down just a little bit? Thank you.
This means that every day 1 or 2 or 3 clients will receive my services in this my room. And the main services that I will do providing is micro eyelash extensions and microblading. And I have been living in Schaumburg for 4 years, and I believe that my work will not disrupt the peace and safety of my community. I am providing for my family loan because my husband hurts back and his old job. He also needs to time to train for more safer career. Clients will park on my driveway and will never block in the road. My clients will not be complete strangers because I will have their full names, phone numbers, email address, and pictures. I will do all of the required documentations, and I will follow the legal requirements. The reason I need to work at my house is that I cannot afford to rent a separate studio because I'm not sure I can find 1 or 2 clients a day. It's not easy. I need to do lash extensions and permanent makeup and cosmetology because it is only job I can find that I can support my family. And please allow me permission to use 1 room of my house for my work. Thank you so much. Should I stay here?
No, that's okay. Thank you. I do have 2 questions I need to, I'm sorry, not for you, but for potentially staff to get answered. The only reason this is appearing before us is because there's a variation to increase the square footage. Is that correct? I'm not sure who's answering it. Is that Ryan?
Mr. Franklin.
Yeah, Mr. Franklin. So let him come here. Thank you.
Good evening, Ryan Franklin, Assistant Director of Community Development. So the request before you tonight, there's a special use requires the Plan Commission approval and then the variation also. So even without the variation, the special use would require.
So it's because, all right, so it is a special use and the variation. Okay.
Correct.
All right, and the variation to increase the square footage is based really upon the fact of the room that she wants to use.
Correct. So she's proposing to use a room that's already set, and our maximum is 160 square feet, and the dimensions of that room exceed the code requirement.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there questions from the board? Trustee Madej?
Yeah, I was just wondering, how many customers are you going to average on a daily basis? Do you know? How many customers?
Why don't you come back up here so we can hear you? Thank you.
Do you have an idea of how many customers you plan on servicing average on a daily basis?
No more than 3. 1 or 2 or 3. No more than 3.
1, 2, or 3
1 or 2
per day?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Other questions? Trustee Sullivan?
Okay, this is for Ryan. We have another microblading business in town, correct? We've allowed another microblading home business?
Yes, that is correct.
And that one never came before us and had any problems, it just went through because it was a 160 square foot room.
Correct. I'm not aware of any issues reported with that
Okay, and they
establishment.
dispose of their sharps and stuff like any other hazardous waste? It's picked up by a special pickup?
So, right, they are required to use a sharps container to dispose of the medical waste.
And this young lady's aware of all those and has access to that kind of,
Yes, staff has listed a condition of approval that they would be required to provide their disposal plan prior to an inspection, but staff has also communicated with the petitioner, and she's indicated that she is willing to abide by those conditions.
so it won't go out in the regular garbage, it'll go into a special container and they come and pick it, just like a doctor's office, the medical waste.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
I have a
Thank you.
question for Ryan Long, he's up there. Is this facility, will it be regulated by the village health department? Will they go in and periodically go in and inspect it for sanitation and everything else?
Yes, so we, our health division will do an inspection at least annually, and this type of use is also regulated by the state of Illinois and Cook County. So our village staff will be conducting an inspection at least annually, but it's also should be required to get the licensing per the body art code in the Illinois Department of Health, Public Health.
Thank you.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? Trustee Dunham?
Is that an existing license, or does she still have to apply for it?
The existing, for the state license?
Yes.
So a condition of approval is that she has to provide that license to village staff prior to, as a condition of this request. So I don't know the status of the license, but we've asked that she provide that to us before before our initial inspection.
Is it time for comments, or do you want to wait?
I was going to take comments from the audience also. I wanted to get initial questions from the board, and then we'll take comments from the audience. So any other?
I will have some more.
Yeah, we'll come back. All right, any other questions? No? Okay. So we're going to open this up to questions, comments from the audience. Please keep your, please come forward, Marge. Please keep your comments, 2-3 minutes, but appreciate you, anything you're saying.
2-3 minutes.
I know. I had to say it, you know me.
I will try. My name is Margaret Conley, and I live at 102 Amboy Lane in Schaumburg, 60194. Lisa and Barswell live directly behind me. We have an adjoining fence. If I stand at my sink, I can see into the room that she's going to be doing this work in. And I can see her doing dishes, and I can see into other parts of the house from there. I've lived in the house 50 years this coming December, and I think they are the fourth owners of the house. The prior few years, the house was rented by an absentee owner who had gotten transferred out of state. So when they moved in, they did significant work cleaning up the property, cutting bushes, removing out very large, I'm sure it was expensive to do, failing tree. They've made improvements both inside and outside the house. And I have to say they are probably the best neighbors that I've had in 50 years. When they first moved in, they initially came to the fence, gave me their name and phone number, and introduced themselves and said, we want to be good neighbors, and we're very open about that. There were times when they would see me in the yard with a wheelbarrow or something I was digging, and they would run to the fence and say, can we help you? Are you sure you want to do that yourself? We're happy to come over. So they've been great neighbors. They have 3 daughters who live in the house, a 10-year-old, a daughter who's at Schaumburg High School, and one that's at the University of Illinois. I did not come to the meeting because I read the report. I got the notice, so I made sure I read the report. Staff had no concerns, and I didn't think it looked any different than most of the things we've seen previously. However, when I read the minutes, there was a lot of back and forth about whether this was already going on and they were sneaking and doing this work. This was not an enforcement case. There was no report to the village that this was happening. Lisa came forward after she went to school, got licensed to do, and she is licensed to do this work, and was working at several different shops. But like everybody else, when you commute and you have a family, she figured she could do better by, like many people, working from home. And there were a few things in the minutes that were really odd, and were lengthy discussions about traffic. This is a one-block street, and I live on a one-block street, just west of Schaumburg High School. And yes, we do have a little bit of cut-through traffic in the mornings. When parents drop kids off on Braintree, some people go around the block rather than make a U-turn on Braintree to come back in the direction that they came from. And the same thing in the evening. There are folks, 3 o'clock, whatever that high school time is, that may be sitting on Braintree. And I would say, if this thing was on Braintree, it might be a different matter. So we do get a little bit of high school traffic that's a little out of the norm for what you might have on a one-block street. As far as garbage, there was discussion of people going through our garbage. I've lived there 50 years. When we used to not have the bins, we'd have raccoons go through and crows go through the black plastic bags and have stuff strewn in the street. I've never, in all of these years, other than the junkers who come for the metal, seen anybody going through garbage. And do they have people over? Absolutely. They have more people over to their house than I do because they have a couple of teenage girls who have friends. They initially lived on the east side of town, and their 2 daughters went to Conant. And so there's girls that come over and park in front of their house, and they have relatives who come over. I see they have a trampoline. They are very family oriented. The last time I saw the daughter in one of the teenage daughters in the yard was with her dad playing, I think, badminton. So yes, do they have people come that they talk about in these minutes? Yes, but I have never seen anything unusual. So I would totally support this request. Oh, there was one other thing. It talked about in the minutes that there was a retired village employee who was opposed to this. I just want it to be very clear. That was not me. I don't know of any other village employee who lives in that area. One of our former one of our former fire lieutenants does live on my block. So I'm not sure where that comes from. So again, I find these people to be very considerate, quiet neighbors, and I don't think that this particular business would have any disruption to the neighborhood. It's also being done in their house. You guys probably don't go to nail salons or those kind of places. Some of those places can be a little iffy, even though they're inspected and stuff like that. And you always see on everything Schaumburg, where's a clean nail place? This woman is going to do this in her house where she has a husband and 3 kids. I would feel more confident as far as a cleanliness and use of the proper procedures going to someone's house for this procedure than I would to some places. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, please step forward.
Yes.
We'll need your name and address for the record, and if you wouldn't mind, write it.
Yes, my name is Sharon Paulson. I live at 105 Bardsey. I'm adjacent to the business in question. Yes, she was running this business several months ago before the meeting, and her clients did park on the street in front of my home, and it did upset me, and it was interfering with my peaceful enjoyment of my home. I came from Chicago, right on Pulaski Road. It was commercial zoned, so I knew what that was like. That's why I chose to purchase a home in a bedroom community, and that's how I would like it to be. I researched this procedure that she does on the internet, and it said there's a range of $300 to $600 per procedure. If she does 2 a day, like she's asking, that would be $600 a day. If she does it 20 days a month, that would be $12,000 a month. I think she could easily afford to rent a commercial property. And if she gets more clients or charges more, the numbers go up significantly. So mainly it's the parking. I also run a business not out of my home, but we rented a storage unit so that we don't disturb our neighbors opening and closing the garage door. And I would hope that that's what she could do too. So please, keep it a bedroom community for me. I don't want to live next door to a fancy tattoo parlor. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
If I may, David Utley again. The
Yes,
Plan
please.
Commission did add an
You are-
additional requirement.
I'm sorry.
Plan Commission did issue or state an additional requirement that the hours of operation should be from 9 until 3. And the petitioner was accepting of that.
Yeah, we saw that in the minutes. Thank you. I'll turn back to the board. Any other comments, discussion regarding this item? No? Trustee Dunham?
I spent a lot of time reading the minutes and so forth. I felt that some of the byplay that happened with the folks talking against the thing was somewhat objectionable, superfluous, unnecessary, and so forth. I am somewhat opposed to this, but not for the reasons that have been stated by the folks that are against it. My concern is strictly health-based, medical-based, and so forth, and I've done some research too. And some of the doctors, two of the doctors that I've talked to, feel that this is a questionable procedure to be done in a home setting. It involves sharps, it involves blood, it involves medical waste and things like that. And while it seems we already have one of these, and when I read the papers about this, that was the first time that I had heard that we already have one of these in town. Had I known that, I would have not been in favor of it. I'm not necessarily against what the petitioner wants to do, but I want to talk about it some more. I would like for this to go back to committee, perhaps committee of the whole, and discuss it a little bit more, perhaps get some expert testimony about it, because I might be able to vote yes after I hear that testimony. This has nothing to do with the fact that you have some neighbors that are in opposition. Please understand that. It has nothing to do with anything that's been said here today. In my case, it has everything to do with life safety and with proper disposal and so forth. And I'm not convinced yet that we are doing the right thing here. So I understand where you're coming from. It sounds like you are trying to work extraordinarily hard to make this right. And again, if we can have a little bit more discussion about it, I may change my mind. I would like to be able to change my mind. So with that, I would like to, Tom, if it's time, I would like to make a motion.
Let me hang 1 second. I forgot something I need to add to this. So there was one other person that did send in an email that I want to add that objected to this. Mr. Sweets?
Sweat.
S-W-E-T-S. Yes, just so you're aware. He's, I'm not sure exactly of his address, but he's on Bardsey also. At any rate, he's objecting to it mainly because of doesn't agree with the knife blading medical procedure in a zoned residential neighborhood, potential sanitation issues, needles, syringes, disposal, and increased traffic and parking within the neighborhood. So I did want to put that onto the record. My apologies, I should have done that earlier. So before we do anything else, I want to see if there's any other questions, comments from the board. No? Okay, Trustee Dunham.
I'd like to make a motion that this be referred back to committee of the whole for discussion at the soonest available date, so that we can give this person the answer that she deserves, the speed with which she deserves. Because again, I'm not saying that, I think that most of what is being expressed as concern can be handled. But I just want to hear a little bit more about the issues that I mentioned. So I would make that motion.
Before we have any discussions on that, is there a second to that?
Second.
Second by Trustee Sullivan. So my concern is we already have an existing business like this that's doing this procedure, and Mr. Franklin, are you aware of any issues that they have incurred or anything that has been brought to your attention or the health department's attention with what's going on at that business?
No.
Are you familiar with how long they've been in business?
I don't know the exact amount of time they've been in business off the
But
top of my
it
head.
appears, from what I understand, it appears could be potentially 3-4 years.
Yes, they did receive approval, but I don't have the exact amount of time that they have been operating.
All right.
President, can I ask one quick question?
Yes, Trustee Sullivan.
Ryan, have there been any police calls or calls to the village for inspection or code enforcement at this address?
I can't speak for the police calls, but there have not been any complaints with respect or any customer service requests or calls to code enforcement that I'm aware of.
Additional comments? My only concern is, we want to refer to committee of the whole, that's fine. My concern is I'm not sure how much will change or what will change, if anything will change. Certainly, Trustee Dunham, you can probably get up to speed a little bit more on it, but it's basically, this is what it is in front of us. I think delaying this on this lady and letting her know where things are going is a bit unfair for her, but it's the pleasure of the board. So there's a motion and a second. Will the clerk pull the board?
Trustee Bishke is absent. Trustee Madej.
Nay.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Nay.
Trustee Clare.
Nay.
Trustee Kozak.
Nay.
So a motion to refer to committee of the whole is denied.
Oh, okay, then I misunderstood, then. No, never mind,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So by a motion of 4 to 1. So we still have the item before us. I'm open to suggestions.
I'll make a motion to deny it.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to deny the request. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Deny her request or mine?
I assume your motion is to deny the petitioner's request.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke absent. Trustee Madej.
Nay.
Trustee Dunham.
Nay.
Trustee Sullivan.
Nay.
Trustee Clare.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
So that fails. We don't need the mayor's vote because it was a motion to deny, so his vote isn't legally necessary, because it would fail even if he voted in favor of it. So now would be appropriate for a motion to accept the recommendation and approve the ordinance, waive first reading and approve the ordinance, which would be number 22-054.
So moved.
Second.
The motion and second to approve the ordinance and the petitioner's request is presented.
And that would include the stipulation recommended by the Plan Commission?
Correct.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke absent. Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
No.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Clare.
No.
Trustee Kozak.
No.
Fails.
I'm sorry, but the motion fails. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is for comments from the audience. Anyone wishing to make comments before the Village of Schaumburg, pertinent towards the Village of Schaumburg, please step forward. Seeing none, council report.
I do have a brief report. The legal team has done a semi-annual review of closed session minutes in order to determine, as required by law, whether any of or all of them can be released to the public. And we have made a recommendation that at this time, none of the minutes or excerpts thereof can be released. And so whoever is in agreement with that recommendation would be appropriate to make a motion that no closed session minutes be authorized for release at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Vishke absent. Trustee Madey.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Clare.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Anything further?
Nothing further, thank you.
President's report, I do have one item that I'm actually stealing from the village manager, so thank you very much. This item is from, let's see, we got this one from, oh, yeah, Tom DeCiccio. I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's thanking Public Works for helping fix the water main break at Stratton Pond Lane and Brookdale yesterday. This was on June 21st. Amazing how quickly this was fixed. We only had a couple of hours without water. Really appreciate the expertise and hard work again, especially in the hottest days of the year. It's probably 100 degrees out there. Thank you again. So, and that is all I have. Manager's report.
I have no report.
New business? No new business. Unfinished business? Trustee comments and mentions?
Yeah.
Trustee Kozak?
Yeah, going back, it was about 25 years ago, when I was still chairman of the Planning Commission, Chuck Valenziano raised his hand and stepped forward, and he was always there for us, and unfortunately, he passed this weekend, and he was a good guy. He was always around, and he supported us and everything, and all our fundraisers and everything else, and it's sad to see, and it's sad to hear for his family, but I guess because of something with the Archdiocese going on, he can't have his wake over the 4th of July. It's going to be the following week. You sent the thing out, or Carmen or Renee sent something out, so if we can somehow at least send a note or stop by, I think his family would greatly appreciate it.
Yes. Chuck Valenziano was a member of the Plan Commission. Been there for years.
More than mine.
Pardon me?
More than mine.
Yeah, more
I've
than
been there
yours.
since
Okay.
Old
2001.
Schaumburg Center Commission years ago, too.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So, yes, be greatly missed. Thank you. Anything else? Trustee comments, mentions? No. Look for motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.